Hey, Robin. Everyone loves the Drake comic podcast fans. We're continuing our coverage of Knightquest, the Crusade. Today we're going to look at Batman 505, cover of March 94, price of $1.50. Really awesome looking cover by Kelly Jones, aren't they all? Just kind of evil and twisted looking with Batman laying down. The one knock I would say on this cover, which you could say probably of a lot of covers, is that this does not happen anywhere in the story at all, even in the slightest. At no point is Batman flat on his back or abattoir look like this at all. This book is kind of a one and done book. It's kind of a one story, although it does kind of connect a little bit. I was looking at Comicron here, and it actually, for 1994, where is it here? Batman 505 was the 124th best-selling book of 1994 for the year. So that's fairly good as far as DC goes, but it was not competing anywhere near with the Marvel and all of the Image books that are ahead of it, which may be a reason why Jean Paul's days as Batman did not last too long. I'm sure if this sold a lot better, Jean Paul would have stuck around a lot more. Getting into the story, there's Hal Jordan, gone crazy, which is why I thought Jean Paul would stick around. I thought they were rebooting all their characters. Little did I know they wouldn't come back, or everything old becomes new again. But this is called Bloodkin, and has Batman come to a murder scene at a house, written by Doug Munch, pencils Mike Manley. This time, inker Bob Wallach, I guess. I think that's kind of a new name I've seen here. And Andrea Roy is the just amazing colorist. But so Batman heard this on the police radio, but he shows up first. And he says, hey, most times when there's a murder like this, it's usually a family member, but all of the family members are dead. They've been killed, and not only been that, they've been flayed. So he knows it's got to be somebody who's not one of the family members, because they're all dead. And then he has a weird hallucination, which it's his father, and then it's also Saint Dumas, and then his father and Saint Dumas are arguing, and his father is like, how can you be Batman? You should be Azrael. How could you have this other father figure, Bruce Wayne? And Asbats is like, he's not a father figure to me. And Saint Dumas is like, hey, man, you're doing a cool thing. Stay as Batman, which is just kind of weird. And then I'm wondering, well, were the other hallucinations Saint Dumas, or were they his father? I can't remember. And then, like, the face melts, and Jean Paul knows it's an hallucination and all part of the system, but he's trying to overcome it. And then he kind of snaps out of it right as the police show up. And so he takes off, and the police kind of see him. But this is also kind of weird. He steals an envelope to get the name of the family, where I think you could just have gotten that from the house address, right? Can't you just look that up in a phone book? But anyway, then we get to the murderer, which we assume is Abattoir here. And this, I don't know how this was part of the Comic Code Authority, and it was here. It was approved by the it's blurry. There it goes. It was approved by the Comic Code, but Abattoir starts talking some horrible stuff about murdering people. Then he's talking about eating and drinking like flesh and blood of his victims, and then he like cracks a bone and starts sucking on the marrow of the bone. I mean, it's really gross stuff. So I don't know, but then we get Jean Paul. He heads back. Still got the internal dialogue going. He's still very heroic, using the Batmobile. I don't know what happened to that little train rocket car he had. I like the artwork here. It looks younger, looks more his age, but he's starting to do detective work, even though he says he doesn't really like to do detective work. And I like how he takes the gauntlets off. I don't know how he types with those on in some of the others. And by doing some detective work, which really is just typing on the computer, really wasn't much detective as far as an intriguing story. He figures out it's Abattoir, who has appeared before in, let me pull this up here, Detective Comics number 625, and I don't know if he ever shows up again, but that's where he came from, created by Marv Wolfman and art by Jim Aparo. And so there's really not much story. Batman just types on the computer and finds the guy, and then the guy's a killer because they say he's a killer because he was a killer in another episode or another issue, and he kills people in his family specifically. So that's how we can find out who the next guy is. And even Azrael says, like, I guess some of this detective work pays off. And oddly enough, the next victim is at Leslie Tompkins' dinner here. And it's kind of funny because I'm watching a lot of Gotham, so I think of Leslie Tompkins as this young, beautiful woman. And now I'm like, who's this old lady? And oh, yeah, that's who she is. But, even as an old lady, she's kind of got a plunging neckline there, showing some cleavage. So, way to go, old lady. So anyway, Batman checks out where Abattoir just was, but somehow he's not there, but then doesn't tell the police. And this part kind of gets slowed down a little bit. He sees Abattoir was there because he was chomping on a bone, which is disgusting. And so apparently this next victim, his cousin, is going to take some kids camping or something like that. And I don't know why Batman's not working with the police, but anyway, somehow he heads off. Then we see them getting ready to go camping, and Abattoir murders the bus driver, so then he can be the bus driver, and then it starts snowing, and then they go on the most dangerous road in Gotham to wherever they're going. I don't know why they would go camping in this kind of weather, but somehow Asbats has gotten the information from Leslie Tompkins, but it was too late. Abattoir's on the bus. He's holding them all hostage. He's going to kill everybody. But here comes Batman to save the day. And Batman's very heroic here, right? He lets the Batmobile go. I don't know what happens to the Batmobile. Clings onto the bus, jumps on to rescue everybody, grabs Abattoir. But this is a cool page spread here. They start fighting. I don't know why Abattoir can withstand this so bad, but he can take a pretty mean punch. So then Abattoir goes to the roof, goes flying off. It's kind of tedious here. Then somehow the bus is hanging by an edge right above a train track. Where is this road? Who made this? This is crazy. Swamp. There's Abattoir. But Batman has a choice: either go after Abattoir, who has been able to withstand a vicious beating, a fall from a bus, a fall into the thing, a fall on a train, go after him, or save the bus. And he does the heroic thing. He saves the bus, which is why I never thought Jean-Paul was that bad of a guy. And he kind of says that this is what Bruce Wayne would do, and he wants to be better than Bruce Wayne. But then he says now he's got the long walk back to Gotham. Abattoir's still out there, and he's got to make the cape better. He can make the cape a weapon, so he's letting the system kind of redesign a new outfit so we can have new action figures and new computer skins and all that kind of stuff here. So it really, I don't know, I thought this was kind of a weak issue. It was just kind of spinning its wheels, not much going on, not much story development, just, a really lame villain, just not very good, except for the art. The art was pretty decent. And then it says, continued in Shadow of the Bat 26, which I haven't done 25 yet, because I think the new costume's 25. So once again, I have no idea how the order of all this goes here. And then in 1 month, it's the Three Stooges from Hell. Wow. All right. Very interesting. So Kelly Moody Jones and Bob Lightning the Rose and Curtis Thunder King are responsible for this cover. And so overall, it's just an issue. That's all. It seems like a lot of filler. And I hate to be kind of negative about it, but it just kind of is. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you have this issue. And if you disagree with me and you love this issue and you think it's the greatest thing ever, let me know. But anyway, I'll talk to you next time. And this is Robin, Everyone Loves the Drake Comic Book Podcast.